Should parents lose custody of their obese kids? Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, it's Tony with Big T Bariatric, and I'm back at you with another video. Today it is Saturday, April 29th. Yes, we are almost done with the month of April. I can't believe it. It's flying by super fast. I hope you're having a great day so far. If you could do me a huge favor, look down below and see if you're subscribed to my channel. And if you're not, please hit that button for me. I greatly appreciate it. Leave a like, leave a comment, and let me know what you think about this video. So today I'm reacting to another Dr. Phil episode. This time it's, it's like the last one, but it's talking more about kids and obesity and whether or not kids who get to be so large are being abused by their parents. Do you think it's child abuse that they let their kids get so big? I don't know, because then that would say that my parents are child abusers, because I was a pretty big kid and they tried their best, but they didn't really know how to help me. So that's a difficult conversation. But I think if you're specifically contributing to your child's obesity and they keep getting bigger, like the last woman who was putting soda in her child's sippy cup at 2 years old and bringing Happy Meals home and letting him eat whatever the heck he wants to eat, that can be child abuse, yes. But if you're not contributing to it in some way, but they're still getting big somehow, like they keep sneaking food and you don't know what to do, that can be a different conversation altogether. But here's season 10, episode 10. It's called Overweight or Underfed. Should overweight children be removed from their homes? And that's a good, interesting question. So we're going to start getting into this. I might break this up into 2 or 3 different reactions. So let's start right now.
Today on Dr. Phil. She made headlines when her obese son was taken away.
He had no health problems.
If he's 555 pounds, he has a health problem.
Wow, right off the bat, he has no health problems, but he's 500 pounds. 500 pounds, and you're saying he has no health problems.
Parents lose custody.
This kid is dramatically overweight, and you're trying to feed him more?
If their kids are overweight or underfed.
I'm going to allow Alyssa to have 2 celery sticks today.
If Dr. Phil says you are flat out of your mind, I will believe it.
You are flat out of your mind. Let's do it. If we're going to do something here that matters, then we got to deal with the truth.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
If I can help get this family back on track, are you willing to do that?
Ready, free. Take.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. A 4-year-old and a questionable 115 pounds. Now think about this. Who is to blame? A 14-year-old, 555 pounds, so heavy.
14 years old and over 500 pounds. I couldn't even imagine that, and I was a fat kid.
That he was taken from his mother. Should extremely obese children be ripped from their homes, and should parents lose custody? Well, a recent study is suggesting exactly that. Take a look.
Should parents of extremely obese children lose custody?
New article in the Journal of the American Medical Association is stirring debate. The article suggests that morbidly obese children should be removed from their homes and placed in foster care.
Dr. David Ludwig argues there are times when the state should step in.
I don't think taking them away from their parents would be the right solution. I believe that, the government would definitely have to step in and do something.
The main reason to remove the children is to save their life.
I mean, that's an interesting point. Like, somebody's got to step in and do something. All right, maybe they should try bringing in a counselor. Maybe they should try a few things before just yanking the kid from the home. Because they might have a good, happy household in every other way except for that. But if you're intentionally feeding your kid that he's getting big, if he's 14 years old and over 500 pounds, that is a real massive, pardon the pun, problem that needs to be taken care of within the home. And at some point that is child abuse. And at some point that is killing your kid. Whether it's intentional or not, you are killing your kid when they're that size. Now, I didn't really start hitting that 500 and 600 pound mark until I was in my 20s. So this kid, 14 years old, was already there. He probably wasn't going to make it very far into his 20s. He probably would have been 700 pounds by the time he was in college. Like, that is just absurd. That's absurd. And in that situation, I would agree, like, yeah, take your kid away because you are abusing him. You are killing him.
Today we're going to talk about this very controversial topic. And to help me out is health and wellness expert and the new co-host of The Doctors, Jillian Michaels.
Right off the bat, I just got to say I don't like Jillian Michaels. I think she's abusive, and she has not been very helpful in this industry at all.
What's up? How are you?
I'm good.
Good to see you. Have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
So how are you?
I'm great.
You are passionate about this topic.
Yeah, this is some very disturbing stuff.
One mom that knows firsthand what it's like to lose custody.
What's disturbing is the way that she abused many of the contestants on The Biggest Loser. Excuse me. She abused those people.
Custody of an obese child is Jerry. Her 14-year-old son, Alex, had reached a life-threatening 555 pounds. And when the state tried to take her son away, they say she kidnapped him. Take a look.
And my son Alex was 14 years old, and he weighed 553 pounds. Alex's health was not in danger, but the state wanted to take my son away from me because he was morbidly obese. When I realized that they were going to take Alex away from me, I became desperate. I needed to do something to protect my son.
It's been 2 days since Jerry...
Why do you care about protecting your son at that point? You haven't been protecting your son this whole time by letting him get to be over 550 pounds. You only cared about your own feelings at that moment, like they were going to take your son away, and you don't want him being taken away from you, even though you're the one who's causing damage to him. Just because he goes to the doctor's office and there was nothing wrong with him yet, he was still too young. Like, when you're young, you have less of a chance of complications with obesity than when you're older. That doesn't mean he wasn't going to die at 20 years old from a massive heart attack because he was 600-700 pounds. He could have survived that. He could have lived longer than that. We don't know. But she's all talking about how I just needed to protect my son. You didn't protect him from the beginning.
Gray and her 14-year-old son Alexander were last seen at their Travelers Rest home.
If we don't find him, there is the potential that he could come to some harm.
Long enough, deputies say, for the mother to drive her severely obese son hundreds of miles north, all the way to Baltimore, where police tracked them down today.
I was arrested for allegedly neglecting my son and taking him out of the state.
If those decisions that they're making for the child puts the child in danger, then the state has to set in.
In this case, deputies say Gray didn't do enough. Her teen ordered into emergency protective custody after repeated attempts by the state to get him help.
I can't believe I'm being treated as a criminal because of my son's weight.
The protection of the child is the foremost issue.
If they're not taking care of their children, someone else will.
Well, Jerry is here today, and Jerry's attorneys, Kim Varner and Grant Varner, are here as well. So thank you guys for being here. My first question is, how did this child get this big?
As a single mom, I was working full time, but my income was low, so I was doing a lot of overtime. And a lot of times he would be at a daycare and I would have to pick him up and still take him with me to work. And he had lunch at 11:30, so at 4 o'clock, I'm hungry, Mommy. So I'd get him something to eat. So I found myself just not cooking that much, or...
Okay, but this isn't just, you know, we ate a little too much fast food. I mean, how did he go from this, a normal size, healthy baby, to being 555 pounds? At 250, did you say, look, this has got to stop. I'm putting this child in danger? At 350, 450? I would think somewhere along the way you'd go, whoa, something's got to change here.
Yeah, this isn't the result of a little fast food. All right? Like, I had a little fast food growing up. It wasn't all that common, but I understand how parents who are low income would rely on carby foods and processed foods and not so much healthy stuff. But if you can afford to buy him that much fast food on a daily basis to the point that he's over 500 pounds, you're not so low income to be able to afford that. I'm sorry. Like, that's expensive as hell.
Here, it doesn't matter where we're living.
Also, you could have made sure you packed him a sandwich, brought the sandwich with him. Made him a sandwich for lunch, brought him a sandwich for dinner if it's 4 o'clock and you're still working overtime. Like, that would have been much cheaper than McDonald's, and he wouldn't have gotten so much bigger. So she's just using that as an excuse. Like, why couldn't you have packed him a couple of sandwiches, some vegetables?
Or what we're doing, because he's not going to be living anywhere had this continued. True?
When he got to be about 250, I took him to the doctor. And I had been talking to him myself, and I said, son, because he would beg me for food, and I would say, son, you've eaten, you should be full, I'm full. And he would say, Mommy, I promise, I am just hungry. So I took him to the doctor, and I said, listen, I need help. I've tried talking to him. I've tried waiting 3 and 4 hours before giving him any more. And I told them, I said, I'm overweight myself, so that makes it difficult as well. But by me working a lot, we didn't have a lot of, like, a social life. I wasn't able to take him places and do things. He was home most of the time, so there was not a lot of activity going on.
And listen, and I'm not trying to throw you under the bus here, because I think you represent a lot of people out there. Where does she turn in a situation like that?
It's calories in, calories out. If you can add and subtract, you can lose weight.
Do you agree that this is a bad result, a bad outcome for this child to get to this weight?
Yes, I do.
That is a failure to allow him to get to that weight. True?
Yes.
Okay. My way of looking at this is you buy the food, present the food, prepare the food. You're the gatekeeper on the food. So you are complicit in this. It comes through you. You understand his life is in danger at 555. His mortality rate, his heart attack risk, essential hypertension, rheumatoid arthritis. He is at risk for those diseases, some of them life-threatening.
But he had no health problems.
No, he's got if he's 555 pounds, he has a health problem. But I'm going to tell you in the same breath, and
that's the way a lot of fat acceptance people think. Oh, I have no health problems. But they don't see that there's a major problem if you're severely obese. There's a major problem. There's something going on. Most of it might be mental, but you have some sort of an addiction. You have a problem. And even though you can go to the doctor's office and they could do blood tests and whatever and say, oh, well, everything's fine, that doesn't mean everything is fine. Because if you start getting to the point where your belly is growing, that means that there's fat stuffed all around your organs, because that's where it stores fat, visceral fat. It stores around the organs first. So, I mean, it can take some time before the tests start showing up abnormal, especially when you're younger. But that doesn't mean there's not a problem. All right? If you're 500 pounds and you're 14 years old, there is a problem. And don't forget that fat itself acts as its own organ. It does. It produces hormones. It produces inflammation. It causes problems within the body, and it chokes out other organs. I mean, it causes all sorts of problems. Fat is not just some non-binary substance that just sits on your body and that's just it. No, it creates and produces hormones and inflammation. And it makes things worse in your body. It gets in your blood. Like, it causes all kinds of problems. So the fact that you're fat and overweight is a problem. So if you go to your doctor and get a blood test, oh, nothing's wrong, that's not true. There is something wrong. They just can't measure it yet, but there is something wrong.
I'm Mr. Accountability. I think people have to be accountable. But I've got to tell you, I think the system has failed you as well. He was taken away from you and put in foster care. Not a solution. He wound up, fortunately in your case, with a family member, where he has been for how long?
2.5 years.
And he's lost how much weight?
Almost 300 pounds.
Almost 3.
So she's not the problem here. Dr. Phil said that wasn't the solution, taking him away and putting him in foster care within a family member. But as soon as he was away from her, he lost 300 pounds. So, yeah, I think that directly points at her being the problem and how she was raising her kid. The food that she was buying him. What she was doing to contribute to his obesity. Because as soon as you take him outside of that environment, he loses 300 pounds. That's a sign that there was a major issue within that household.
300 pounds. Alex is actually joining us today via satellite. Now, this is the first time he has ever spoken publicly about what happened to him. So, Alex, are you there?
Yes, sir.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Well, you're looking pretty good, young man.
Thank you.
You do. You've lost a lot of weight. How do you feel?
I feel real good. I could do a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, tell me what you can do now that you couldn't do at 555. What has changed about your life pattern?
Well, I play basketball. I can run down the court. In gym, like, I never thought I could get 100 in gym. I got an A in gym.
Yeah. And
So why wasn't he getting that exercise before? Well, yeah, he was 500 pounds, but before he got there, she was saying, oh, well, we didn't go out and walk. There was no activity. He was stuck at home all day. What, the family member that's raising him now wasn't also working throughout the day? I mean, there is gym. There is activities at school. There are ways to go play basketball after school. There's all kinds of things that you can do to get activity, especially when you're a kid. But if he couldn't even go to the gym and hang out and do the things he was supposed to do at 14 years old because he was too fat and he was failing gym, I mean, yeah, that's a problem.
did not want to be taken when Child Services came to take you from your mother, right?
Yes, I did not.
And how do you feel about your mom? They've been pretty critical of her and saying that she didn't protect you and take care of you. How do you feel about your mother?
I feel that she took the best care, even though that we ate a lot. She was there for me. That's my mother. I love her so much.
Right, and you still love her, right?
Yes.
And you still have her.
He just said something significant, even though we ate a lot. We ate a lot. So that also points to her being part of the problem. Because she's big herself. So yeah, she bought him all that garbage because she likes to eat all that garbage. Maybe she didn't eat as much of it as he did. But that lifestyle that they had contributed to his obesity. So she is fully complicit in his weight. Because when you're 14 years old, and he was, 550 at 14, so he was big from when he was a little kid. Probably big most of his childhood. He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't get it yet. So yeah, his mom was 100% being abusive in this situation. And it was the best option, taking that kid out of the home. As much as I don't want to see kids being separated from their home, like that was the best decision for him. Because he got out of that environment, he was able to be active, he was able to start eating healthier, and he lost 300 pounds.
A relationship with her.
Yes, strong relationship.
In fact, you wrote me a letter. May I read a passage from the letter you wrote me?
Yes, sir.
You said, I was so sad without my mom that I decided to make myself busy. So I became active in youth programs in the church and other church activities. I got into sports at school and started hanging out with friends and cousins just so I couldn't think about me and my mom's situation so much. I knew I was too overweight, but to me it wasn't my mom's fault. She is a good mom. She took good care of me. And I would love to be a motivational speaker, to use my story to witness in the future. I think those are wonderful sentiments. And
yeah, that's a great sentiment, but if you're not willing to actually look at what caused the problem in the first place, you're not going to be very good of a motivational speaker, because you're going to have to be honest with people about why you were overweight to begin with. And that's something I've done in my own channel. Like, I've had to be honest. I'd have to take my own responsibility and say, I did this to myself. I failed so many different times. I finally figured it out. But you're going to have to be honest with yourself about that. But not blaming your mom when she directly contributed to your obesity. I know, I get it. You're trying to spare your mom's feelings, but she was guilty here.
What do you think about what he's saying?
I love it. I mean, I tried my best. I really did. I was in college full time. I was working full time. I was trying to make sure my son had. I would do without just to make sure my son had. I really tried my best.
And listen, I do not question your intentions at all. And, you know, I've been doing this a long time, and I know a loving mother when I see one. But can we agree that despite your intentions, that your choices and your priorities led to a really dangerous situation for him?
It did, but I went for help, and they kept telling me they couldn't help.
What you allowed to happen here is unacceptable. You can't do that. But this is a woman that did reach out for help. She didn't just sit there saying, oh, well, gee, scoot over. Yeah. I need more room, and you're getting bigger. That isn't what happened. She reached out for help. If he was back with you now, would he gain weight again?
No.
Why not?
Because he's kind of back with me now. He's there on the weekends, and he tells me what to buy, you know, and it's just like all vegetables, all fruit, you know, tuna maybe.
She didn't realize that in the first place. Like, I don't care how busy you are. I don't care that she was in college and working overtime. It's like she knew what to buy. Everybody's smart enough to know what's healthy and what's not healthy. So she liked that food herself. She was getting bigger herself. She was addicted to that food herself. And so she fed it to him, and he became addicted as he was growing up. He couldn't get enough of it, so he kept feeding him. I mean, she kept feeding him. So that's the problem here. The fact that you need your kid to tell you what to buy the tuna, to buy fruits and vegetables, to buy the healthy food, it's like, how ignorant are you?
You know, and, you know, we're both working on it.
Alex, I understand that you've hit a bit of a plateau on your weight loss. So I want you to know that we have contacted an organization called Anytime Fitness, which is in your town right there, and we have a...
I mean, it's very interesting, too. He's hit a plateau in his weight loss, which plateaus do happen. They do. But when you're 16 years old like he is now, like, his metabolism is the greatest. It's never going to be as good as it is right now. So the fact that his mom already has partial custody back, the fact that he is back in the home, at least on the weekends, and spending more time, now his weight loss is stalled out. I don't have a lot of hope for him that his weight's not going to go right back up if she gets full custody again.
Arranged for you to have a free Platinum Gym membership and a personal trainer to work with you every step of the way. We've also contacted the folks at Bistro MD, and they have agreed to deliver healthy meals to your doorstep every single day. And they're going to work with you on what kind of things you want, and calorie and makeup and all of that sort of thing. So you're going to have that there, lots of decisions made for you so we can keep him moving along the same way. And we also understand that you have a real interest in Oakwood University in Alabama.
Yes, sir.
So I have contacted the university president there, Dr. Leslie Pollard, and he has agreed to personally help you with the application process and to arrange a campus visit where he can tour you around and show you everything that's right there on the campus. Because you are in his life, I would like to offer you the same Bistro MD food service that he has. Deliver next time. I want to see less of you. Okay. Next time I see you, and I hope you guys will continue to work together and I hope you'll come back and give us your progress report. And I really hope, I know that there are some criminal charges pending with her right now, and I don't want to get into that because I don't want to create a problem. So I really hope this turns around for y'all.
Thank you much. We believe that education, not imprisonment, is the key. And to blame her is kind of a knee-jerk reaction to a complex problem. And there's plenty of blame to go around, starting with fast food, the media, the school system, medical care.
Oh, this lawyer, man. I mean, I agree. It's a complex problem. But to say that blaming the mom is a knee-jerk reaction? Are you kidding me? He got fat in the home when he was with her. He left her and lost 300 pounds. And now that he's sort of back in his mom's life, he's plateauing and the weight loss has slowed down. And she's overweight herself. It's directly on the mom's shoulders. Like, there's nothing else doing that. Yeah, school lunches are bad, but you don't eat a tremendous amount of food at school. As long as I remember being at school, it's like I didn't have a lot of food on my plate. It wasn't until I got home that I was sneaking food and in the fridge and eating seconds and thirds and, you know, doing what I shouldn't have been doing in the first place. But it was also the responsibility of the people bringing the food into the house, like my parents. Like, I mean, yeah, I get it's a complex problem, but to act like she had nothing to do with what happened is just ridiculous.
Well, and Kim, you understand that I'm saying she clearly has responsibility and accountability here.
Without
what
doubt.
she needs is information and resource, and that's what's happening now. The aunt has helped here, is intervening. We're going to continue resources for both of them. Let's not fix what ain't broke. This is moving in the right direction here.
That's one of the reasons we reached out to you.
Well, and I hope everybody sees it that way. I know this is a loving mother. I support you in what you're doing. Alex, I couldn't be more proud of you. I am so proud of what you're doing. Thank you. Next, we're going to talk to a mom who cannot figure out why her 4-year-old son is over 100 pounds.
All right, we're going to stop it right here. We'll get into the story probably Monday. Yeah, it's really weird because it is a complex problem. And it's a bunch of different things. But if education is the problem here, and I probably shouldn't have been as hard on the mom as I was, because she wasn't educated on what to do. I mean, it seems like it doesn't take a genius to realize that the food you're eating is garbage. But there is a lot of food out there that you think might be healthy, that might be okay, that really isn't. So I can understand education being part of the problem. And if you're living low income, you are more likely to buy the crappy food and then become addicted to it. Like the noodles and the pastas and the desserts and all those snack cakes and stuff that are very, very cheap. But yeah, if she was buying him a lot of fast food, then that's not an excuse, because it's like, it's very, very expensive. You could spend thousands of dollars a month on fast food to get to that size. So, I mean, there was something abnormally wrong going on, because I was a big kid, but I was not 500 freaking pounds when I was 14 years old. I was in the 200s. So somewhere along the line, that kid gained 200 more pounds than I was weighing. So 250 pounds heavier. So to get to that size, like the ridiculous amount of calories you had to have been eating, plus your metabolism is faster at that age, like, I can't imagine it. It's unfathomable to me. But anyways, I guess that'll be it for today. I'm going to take tomorrow off because it's Sunday and I got a lot of stuff going on, so church and stuff. But I hope you have a great weekend. I love you all. Again, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. And I hope you have a good one. God bless you.